All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here again, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. Thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done that yet, please subscribe and then hit the bell for notifications on new videos. All right. And then Patreon, I need your support over there as well if you can help keep this channel going. Revolution Saints, they're going strong. Eagle Flight, absolutely incredible album featuring Joel Hoekstra playing guitar and Dean Castronovo singing, and Dean is just a beast. And then there's this guy, Jeff Pilson. Where do I know Jeff Pilson from? He plays bass. Pretty talented guy. Oh, yeah, he's in Foreigner. Yeah, and he was in Dawkins as well. But Jeff Pilson did an interview recently. I'm not even going to dignify where the interview was. But in any event, he was talking about how Foreigner isn't a cover band, how Foreigner is doing a good job upholding their legacy. Now, what's weird, okay, and I'm not saying it's cool that there are no original members, because poor Mick Jones, okay, let's talk about Mick Jones, all right? So Mick Jones apparently is really struggling to be out there. He comes out for a few songs, or he doesn't come out at all, so it's kind of hit or miss if you're going to see Mick Jones. Now I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it would be cool to see Mick Jones, right? Maybe Mick Jones, instead of strapping on a guitar, should just come out and give a little brief speech or wave to people. Hey, I'm okay, guys. You know, the rumor is that he's possibly really sick. Although Jeff Pilson said a few weeks ago that he's fine. Lou Gramm said that he wasn't doing well. So I'm just confused. Why is everybody dumping on Mick Jones and Foreigner this late in the game? They've announced their farewell tour. Bye-bye. You know, Kelly Hansen says, and smartly, and I've made this point, if you can't sing anymore, you should probably not keep doing this. Funny thing is, Aerosmith has realized that they're unable to continue. Joey Kramer's not even going to be with Aerosmith for their upcoming farewell tour. Other bands will probably follow suit fairly soon. REO Speedwagon right now. Hello? Is this on? REO Speedwagon, 0 original members. 0. Kevin Cronin is not an original member of REO Speedwagon. The keyboardist, Neil Dowdy, just quit the band a few weeks ago. He's pretty old, and he's just getting tired of the road, and he wants to spend time with his family. Okay. Who's boycotting REO Speedwagon? Who's complaining about them? Well, Dave, you know, Kevin Cronin, he's been there a very long time, and some people don't even know he wasn't there at the beginning, blah, blah, blah. You know, Foreigner has shifted their lineup several times, including once in 1990, replacing Lou Gramm with Johnny Edwards. And for Foreigner 4, it was a more stripped-down version of the prior band. They didn't have that much success with Head Games compared to their prior albums, so they decided to kind of do something a little bit different. You got Junior Walker playing saxophone. It's a really amazing album, Foreigner 4, but it's not the original lineup. It's a different lineup. Holy crap, Batman, what are we going to do? Can we still have Foreigner? Well, Dave, it's Lou Gramm and Mick Jones. That's really what you need. All right, well, here's the deal. Mick Jones decided in 2005 that he was going to have Kelly Hansen be in the band. And Kelly Hansen has been in the band for 18 years. And it's weird because on their way out, as they're saying goodbye, and yes, these tours take a little while, and it would be nice to have Mick Jones out there for this last tour. If he's healthy and he wants to be out there, he can play every show, right? But apparently he can't. And he hasn't been. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Jeff Pilson is correct. He says, hey, we're doing a good job with this lineup, keeping the music going. No different, by the way, than REO Speedwagon. Again, REO, 0 original members. Foreigner, without Mick Jones, also at 0 or maybe 0.35 if Mick Jones goes out there for a little while. But I'm just kind of blown away by this back and forth about their cover band, their tribute band. Hey, you know what? If Mick Jones owns the name and he wants to send this team out onto the field, same thing happens with Blood, Sweat, and Tears. 0 original members. One guy owns the name, decides to keep the thing going. Little River Band, same exact thing. No original members. They go out, they put on a show. People decide what. Now, it's almost like you want somebody who's a courier or, somebody with a bullhorn out in front of the stadium yelling, "Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to go see Foreigner. This is not the original lineup. In fact, there are 0 original members in Foreigner tonight. Did you know that when you bought your tickets? Wow, you're foolish." And people are like, you know what? I want to go inside and drink a Coors Light, not a Bud Light. I want to have a Coors Light and I want to enjoy the show. I don't really care who's in the band. Okay, and look, I understand. I understand the original guys. They get really ticked off. But aren't they making money still? Aren't they making some publishing? Now, I get it. In some cases, it's just way over the top because nobody even knows the original band at all. But if people go, if they've got full informed consent as to what they're going to go see, then why is it a big deal if Mick Jones can barely get on stage? In fact, people should have compassion for Mick Jones and say, wow, the poor guy, he's not doing well. Should they just cancel all the shows? Should all the roadies go home? Should all the concessions people go home and not make the money that they were supposed to make? Seriously, this economy sucks as it is, and you're going to pull the plug on a band with a great catalog and a singer who can still sing fairly well, and that would be Kelly Hansen. He's not Lou Gramm, but then again, nobody out there right now is Lou Gramm in his prime. There is this band in Northeast Ohio called Hot Blooded. You should check them out because they're really good, and they might be the solution to the problem. However, if you've got the name Foreigner and you've decided that you're going to continue with this band, which technically every band is a brand, that's your call. That's the call of Mick Jones. And he's decided that if he's not going to be there, this brand is going to continue to go out there and make him money and make everybody who is involved with it a decent earning and a decent living. There's nothing wrong with that. And besides, they've announced that they're done. They're quitting. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Like I said before, it's sour grapes. It's throwing stones as somebody's walking out the door. Hey, they're not going to be around for too much longer. I think people will be upset when these bands or brands stop performing because they can't even duplicate the music anymore. And then you're going to be left with tribute bands, not cover bands, but tribute bands. Tribute bands are different because they try to emulate the actual sound of the band. A cover band doesn't really care what the singer sounds like. They don't really care what they look like when they go on stage. They just go out there and play the songs, and they hope for the best. And you know what? That's going to be our future. And arguing over whether Mick Jones should close it down or the fact that he's not out there and he should be. I mean, the video I watched of Mick Jones, someone sent me yesterday, was depressing because he looked horrible. He looked terrible. And he should probably stay home and rest. Let the boys go out there and finish, right? You've got Kelly Hansen and you got Jeff Pilson, who's also in Revolution Saints. Now, because of the way the music industry works, there's no encore. There's no band like this band right here. I know Pilson could probably pull it off, but these guys should be opening for Foreigner. They should be opening so people can learn about what's next. And I'm not saying these guys will be around forever, but they've got a longer shelf life than the current lineup of Foreigner, although those guys are fairly young, the guys who are up there on stage, other than Kelly and Mick Jones. So they could continue. They could find another singer. If Mick Jones wanted to say, hey, Kelly Hansen is going to quit, but we're going to keep the Foreigner brand going. Just like the guy who runs Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Robert Lamb from Chicago has said that maybe when Chicago is all done, they'll recruit a bunch of players to go out onto the field and keep the game going. And it's up to you and me if we want to buy tickets to it. We could say, well, this isn't the real Chicago. I grew up when Jason Scheff and Bill Champlin were in the band. And somebody would say, oh, yeah? Well, I was there when it was, Danny Seraphin and Peter Cetera and Terry Kath. That's the real Chicago. And it is the real Chicago. It's sad because aging kind of sucks. And there's nothing you can do about this stuff. But just like a great symphony, you have different orchestras over the years performing the work of Mozart or Beethoven. And people obviously go and listen to those orchestras. People, maybe 100 years from now, will be going to see some band or some AI program that will duplicate the original Foreigner, right? And make it sound like it's a live concert. Actually, that's probably maybe 2 years away, maybe 3. Seriously, at the rate technology is going, it wouldn't shock me. All right, so the bottom line in this video is, why sweat the small stuff here? If you don't want to buy tickets to this version of Foreigner, don't do it. But, Jeff Pilson, he's a quality musician. Absolute quality. Same thing with Mick Jones, obviously, if he's there, and Kelly Hansen, who's done a great job for 18 years. If Mick Jones isn't there, it's probably for the best. I mean, he's not in good shape. All right, I wanted to get that off my chest. And I'm hoping you'll watch this video. I hope you'll watch some of the ads that play on it. Still fighting the algorithm. Here are the Revolution Saints, Eagle Flight. Absolutely fantastic album from start to finish. For those of you who may be interested in music that continues the spirit of bands like Foreigner and Journey and REO and Toto and all these bands that are slowly fading away. I've been hearing some stuff about Toto that, they're not going to be around for too much longer. Steve Lukather doing a solo album with guys from Toto, but not calling it a Toto album. It's kind of weird. We'll see where that goes. Maybe that's about to stop being what it was, but we shall see. By the way, Steve Lukather, I think he's the only original guy in Toto, right? If Luke quits, that's the end of Toto, obviously. But we're doing this all over the place. We're hanging on to just the one guy and saying, if he's not there, it's the end of the world. Yes and no. I get it. But people probably should have stopped being interested in these bands like 20 years ago, because these lineups, they're not even close to the originals for the most part. The originals, one falls by the wayside. Chicago, with all the guys in that band originally, there's 3 left. There's 3 originals left. 2 horn players and 1 vocalist, keyboardist, Robert Lamb. That's a lot, considering that most of these bands are down to 0. So in any event, that's my video on the topic. Thanks for watching, and I, of course, will see you soon.